Ability of the game, like the Arizona game, the Pittsburgh game that you guys have coming up. Is that on the chopping block, or could it maybe even be the Iowa State game?
Yeah, I'm not that global in my thinking. I do know the game schedule is something that could happen. We talked about it, a couple years ago, I think, in our coaches' meetings, just within, the existing conference. And, the downside of that, or the challenge there, is if you do that, everybody wants at least 7 home games, especially if you have 100,000 in your stadium. So something's going to have to give there too. And just like we talked about with this expansion, if they go 9-game schedule, it's going to be different. Something's going to have to give. If we do 2 divisions, it's going to be different than what we're used to right now. So I'm not sure where this is all going. I would think the decision's got to be made fairly quickly, because that 2011 season's not that far away. And, a lot of work goes into the logistics of just trying to get a team housed and fed, all that stuff. So whatever. I don't think there's going to be the drama's not going to last long here. I guess that's what when you're looking at. I think the 9-game schedule probably presents some real challenges, but if they go that route, they'll figure it out, I'm sure.
When you think about that, though, 9 conference games plus a conference title game, 10 potential big. How that seems really hard to win.
Yeah, does anybody do that? I don't even know. What's the SEC do? I know they do something. They're different than the Big 12, right?
They do a lot of things in the SEC.
Well, yeah, I was talking about scheduling here. So, right, because they only had.
Not going to now.
Yeah, they used to. So really in a perfect world. I guess the Big East, right? I don't know how many schools are in the Big East, but they play and they have a champion at the end of the year and all that stuff. So I don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, that would be. I would think that might be tough to pull off. I would think that'd be tough.
On the subject of, Tressel said yesterday that there's 2 scenarios for the divisions that make sense. One of them is geographic and logical, and that's East-West.
Right.
And then the other one is completely illogical. Do you see a scenario where they can take like a Wisconsin and move them to? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's entirely possible, from what I've heard. And, I saw the criteria like all of you did. I think there are 3 points in it.
Yeah.
And the X factor there is, I think, was a competitive, however they said, a competitive balance or what have you. So I wouldn't rule anything out, and whatever comes our way, won't surprise me.
A move like that's kind of difficult without a crystal ball, though, right? If you're competitive.
All you can do is look backwards, and then you're trying to project off of recent data. And do you go back 3 years? Do you go back 5, 7? It's interesting that way. So that's way out of my realm of thinking, and probably the only thing I would say, it'd be really hard for me to envision Michigan and Ohio State getting split. Outside of that, I think anything's possible.